Hey everybody, welcome to TCM. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. For the next few hours, we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of Milestone Films, one of the leading independent film distributors in the world. They're known for, as they say, messing with the canon by releasing and distributing obscure cinematic masterpieces from all over the world to audiences in the United States and beyond. They've helped with the restoration and release of films from directors including Alfred Hitchcock, Charles Burnett, Lionel Rogosin, and many others. And joining me this evening as we present some films from the Milestone Library are two Milestone founders, Dennis Doros and Amy Miller. Dennis, Amy, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Up first, we bring you one of the earliest movies Dennis and Amy released through Milestone Films. It's a silent classic and one of the first feature-length films ever created, released a year before Birth of a Nation. From 1914, it's In the Land of the Headhunters. So this is a remarkable film almost for any time, but particularly 1914. What is the backstory of this movie?
Well, the filmmaker, Edward S. Curtis, was a very famous still photographer, a real pioneer in photography. And he settled in Seattle and became obsessed, enamored with documenting the existing and even the prehistory of Native American tribes all across the country.
He published the definitive photographic volume of the American Indian experience in the United States.
Multi-volumes. I mean, it was 22 volumes,
right.
Sponsored by J. Pierpont Morgan. And he meant to document the vanishing race, not only with photographs, but with audio recordings, with voluminous notes. He had some of the most advanced information on the Native American tribes at that time.
Going from a still photographer to making a feature-length movie in 1914, when I would imagine the idea wouldn't have occurred to most still photographers.
Strangely enough, and perhaps in keeping with the history of cinema, he thought this was going to make money and that this would sort of bail him out, because the making of these beautiful volumes that were so extraordinarily expensive to go and make and also to produce, he thought that this would be a blockbuster, it would make a lot of money, and it would bail him out financially. And of course, quite the opposite ended up happening.
So I can't imagine that this film was completed and lying around and you guys just found it and touched it up.
That would have been lovely. Unfortunately, because the film was not a success and it was very, very expensively made, had more tinting and toning than almost any silent film ever.
A lot of films had 2 tints or 3 tints. How they advertised this film in 1914 was in true nature colors, and that it was going to be a replication of life as you see it. And nobody actually knew the process he used until they found the 2 nitrate reels at UCLA, and they realized what he had done was used an elaborate tinting and toning process that had 12 tintings and tonings, and so it had far more than any other film at that time, and quite a number since.
This is not a documentary, although you learn a lot about how this tribe lived and what was important to them. But there's a story here. Can you give us a sort of a brief synopsis of some of what this is?
Well, it's definitely a story of love and war.
Yeah.
And it's very dramatic, it's very beautiful. It begins with the Modana, who's the hero of our film. He is a young brave who's going off to fast and dance to have a vision quest. And he has a vision of a beautiful woman when he's been dancing around the fire, and then he meets her. And so it seems that destiny has fated that she should be his wife.
Right, but she's been promised to another. And then...
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
An evil sorcerer.
An evil sorcerer. Well, it's terrific, it works, it's dramatic.
Yeah, I love it too.
Guys, thank you very much. Here's the film directed by Edward S. Curtis with musical accompaniment by John J. Brahm from 1914, In the Land of the Headhunters.